Kingdom Day 34 and I got 7 million power. But some of you have rightly pointed out I don't have any tier 4 yet. So in this video I'm just going to go through the reasons why I don't have tier 4 yet. Firstly, like when you go and buy a new car, I don't like the current deal. What the offer is 18 days and 9 hours. I'm sure I could pick a rune up and take that below 18 days. Plus I have 27 helps currently, which is another further 27% discount on the price of these long swordsmen. But what you need to keep in mind is, yes, I could afford to have them. I could buy them now. But what would that then look like? It'd be like having a nice car on my drive with no insurance and no petrol in the tank. Because I only currently have half an hour, 50 minutes in training speed ups. So I'd have a total of about 500 tier 4 should I train them now. And what would I do with 500 tier 4? Also, whenever I went out and did a fort or killed some barbarians with my tier 4, they would start to fill up my hospital. And they are far, far more expensive to maintain or to fix than they are the tier 3s. So it's a bit like if we were a business instead of a Rise of Kingdoms city, it would be like swapping in a workhorse van for a BMW. It just makes no sense at the moment when the van is performing just as well as I need it to and doing all the jobs. Also, as I increase health through herbal medicine, I'm increasing health of all of my tier 3. Where if I was just to add a few hundred or a few thousand tier 4 to my march, it wouldn't make any difference. Yes, eventually I do need a full tier 4 march. And yes, eventually when we are running Barbarian Forts 5, I will need a full tier 4 march. But now, at the moment, if I was to join a tier 4 Barbarian rally, it doesn't, as long as I get 8, 9, 10% of the kill, I get almost as good a reward as if I'd got 60% of the kill. It's not that huge a difference. So, don't rush your tier 4. Obviously, if there's a civil war and you need to go and help, you're going to be using huge resources to get involved in this. If you're free to play, the truth is, the absolute truth of the early game civil wars and battles is you can only really afford to fight if you're fighting down a tier. So if you have tier 3, you can fight people with tier 2. If you do anything else other than this, you are risking your progress, unless of course you've got huge farm resources or the whales send you resources to help you fight, because you simply are not going to have it in your account to go out and battle too hard. It's very rare for me to even bother to get the keys from the kill event, but I'm very interested in keys at the moment, and a few people had asked for some, what are they called? Asked for some jewels, so I have done a few jewels. But that can be expensive as well. Although I won that one. Hold on, let's have a look. Here we go. Going out with City Keeper to fight Minamoto. Not the smartest thing in the world. I don't actually think he did that bad. They only had 13,000 remaining, which is 40% of the march. But be really careful with getting too involved in kill events, civil wars, especially when the reward for this Mightiest Governor event is Caesar, who's practically useless in the game, unless of course you can get some stuff into that precious 4th skill of his where nobody would mind an extra 15% march. Also remember, he's an attack based commander, so really he needs to be going with someone like Joan or Scorpio, or somebody that can really up the attack on the march. So that's it. That's why I've not got my tier 4 at the moment. I hope those analogies make sense. If you're a young man watching my YouTube channel, I just want you to know I'd be far more impressed if you had a stocks and shares trading app on your phone and you own some stocks and shares than I would be if you had a smart car, if you live with your mum and dad and you have a BMW or some expensive car. Full disclosure though, I have had a brand new BMW before in my life, but I got it through work. So I can't remember what it cost me, but it was very, very, very little, as it was just a perk with my job. So next time you see somebody in a smart BMW, just keep in the back of their mind they might have just got it free through their work. So not everything is as it seems, and it is better to be than to seem, as is the motto of my secondary school. So what else can we look at on the account today? As I said, we're over 7 million. The reason why I am pushing a little bit is I don't really want to have to wait for the queue on these buildings here, because of course I'm losing training speed ups as I'm waiting for the Archer range to build. So although there isn't a gold head reward event, I am slowly pushing through these. So I've got the barracks to 23, stables to 22, Archer to 21, but then what I will do is I don't mind losing siege units, so I will then have the siege workshop ticking alongside the wall, and before they're finished I then need to pull out of somewhere 130 million odd resources. So my farms are working hard and I've got 40 million in the bag, but of course I need that. Let's just see though if we can finish the Archer. Oh, it hasn't had its helps yet, so it's a poor deal at the moment. And as I say, what I want you to always think about is what's the best deal for my account? What will put me ahead in the long run? As I say, it is better to be than to seem powerful. And I assure you, sometimes I see people, they've got 5, 6, 7, 8,000 tier 4 in their march, and then they start upgrading their tier 3. And eventually you can end up that they need to work on a large army for Expedition. Remember, Expedition is a completely different game in that it doesn't have seriously injured or any penalty for losing. So if you go in with a million tier 1, that would be obviously a nightmare in the open field, but in Expedition it doesn't matter. You can sometimes just have low tier troops who are not tanking the march but are the second march, and all they're doing is carrying the commanders into battle so that they can cast their debuffs or buffs or whatever they are casting to go along with your real marches. So think about this. Also, a few people have noticed that I don't upgrade my troops. So I like to get to around 1 million troops before I begin upgrading. The reason for this is, again, Expedition. You have 5 marches, why not take 5 marches in? So, instead of having one full tier 4 march, to have 1 million troops over 5 marches carrying 10 commanders with 10 different buffs, 10 different debuffs, 10 different skill hits is far more powerful in my opinion and in Expedition. But this does not work in open field. Remember, 2 different games. I am though still stuck on Expedition 55, so maybe this is the point when you need to start thinking about introducing tier 4. But if you have tier 4 and you're on Expedition 45 or Expedition 50, you need to ask your question, how have I done this without tier 4? It's because I've pushed health. I've thought about my commanders. It isn't all about troops. Don't just learn to hit things with Minamoto. Learn how to play and use your commanders to every advantage. What else have we got to look at today? Not a lot going on, although it does look like we have a seasonal event coming up, which is very exciting. So I'm looking forward to Wednesday, where I hope to be getting some gold heads. I don't know which one this is. Has anyone told us what it is? Is it the 7k gems? Although it's got that rubbish fish thing going again, which I didn't really even understand last time, but that's going again. We've got some good news. Clarion Call's coming around. And this one, what's her name? I can get some more Kira sculptures because I'm using her. So exciting things going on. Building a stronger account. But that's why I don't have my tier 4, everybody. That's why I don't upgrade my troops. I hope this helps somebody develop their account and think in a different way. Not just in Rise of Kingdoms, but perhaps in how you conduct yourself in your own finances or business.